time I'm in Hackney, I'm absolutely just like, wow. It's like I'm in my own Disneyland. That's the level that the Olympics have taken it to.
In so many ways, the Olympics exceeded expectations. There was no difficulty on transport. The games makers are absolutely superb.
There's been like loads of opportunities that have come up.
For me personally, I felt really proud to be part of this community that was welcoming that event.
People were worried about the games. There was a lot of talk of transport disruption, and all of a sudden, particularly the Olympic torch, to have such a build-up across the country, I think that really resonated with the Hackney residents, and they actually wanted to kind of capture the spirit of the games.
I think what it did was perhaps give a leg up to Carnival, which will hopefully last into the future.
They've licked it this year because that's what everybody says. So for next year, they want to do better. I don't know how they could do better because we've done really good. So they really want to up their game for next year. So that's what it's done.
In June 2012, we will be heading to East London for BBC Radio Hackney Weekend 2012. Everybody,
BBC Radio 1 Hackney Weekend 2012.
The work of the 2012 team and the council over those 6 years, has really been to kind of say to people that the games will benefit you, that the games will give something to you, and there are opportunities to get involved. And that was particularly true with the concert, where we had 30,000 young people from Hackney rocking out on Hackney marshes with Rihanna and Jay-Z, which has never happened before. To connect the concert to the park with the lighting up of the stadium, and just to really show that Hackney was kind of part of the Olympics, and that was a really kind of special experience, I think, for lots of young people in Hackney.
Prior to the Hackney Weekender, you had the Academy. I think that was amazing. If you got down to the Hackney Weekender, that was amazing. But the Academy was really getting to know the celebrities out there, and the message that the celebrities were giving to young people is that you have to work hard.
Seeing some of their work a part of the festival, T-shirts were being sold that had been created in the Academy, films were being shown on the main screen, and I think that balance of having absolute superstars next to the work of young people from the area who 3 weeks previously had maybe not even picked up do you know what I mean, done any design or been involved in making a film. Their work was sitting there at the weekend, and that felt like a really complete moment.
This was a major thing for Hackney. We've not done anything like this before. And, volunteers were keen, enthusiastic and excited about doing the things that they did in volunteering.
So between January and July, nearly 50,000 out of the 75,000 games makers were trained here at Hackney Community College.
When I went to my training at Hackney College, they said, well, why was you picked to do mobility? And they said the most important thing in the training, they said, we've picked you because of you.
I will come back to you later.
Those games makers that are now known all over the world were trained here.
We did any activity that was available and they needed our assistance, we would lend our services to them in that capacity in promoting, largely sport.
Well, I got to work in the training room, so I literally got to stand there and watch the Olympic athletes train.
The highlight for me was just knowing that I was able to give back something of myself to the community,
For Takashi Bailey!
Hopefully I can inspire a lot of people through the things that I do, and to see the result, hopefully kids can get into sport and fitness.
I had a woman come to me last week who said, right, I'm coming to you, I want to learn to swim, I want to swim in Rio. And I thought, well, great, that's fantastic. She's not likely to get good enough to make the British team, but it's really great that she's inspired to do that.
When I go round to the primary schools and I speak to some of the youngsters, I see the smiles on their faces when they tell me that because of the games, they're doing sport, they've chosen a sport, they're going to experience all different sports. That is what the games are about.
For me, the legacy of the games will be the facilities. Look at the aquatic centre, the new cricket facilities on Hackney Marshes, the velodrome. All these are right on the doorstep of tens of thousands of kids who are going to make very, very good use of them.
Olympics has been great. really much looking forward for us now, really, about how we can push the building on, make the building work and make the marshes really work as a whole year-round venue, not just a football season venue.
I think the legacy's already started. The Olympic Park and the bits that Hackney have of the park are just the most incredible spaces.
28 acres of this beautiful landscaped space will fall into their hands. They will own it. The freehold will be theirs in perpetuity.
I can't wait for it to be, you know, my local park. I'm dying to get the dogs over there, and you know, it really is beautiful. I was really impressed by it.
Once people can kind of get in and experience that en masse, that would be incredible.
It is making it a working legacy and maximising the benefits there. So it is getting those jobs in to the eye centre. It's maximising the use out of the handball arena. It's opening the doorways, getting the bridges and the railways, cyclists, to get that permeability to bring down the fence and get in there.
Obviously the ICT development is really interesting and exciting, and hopefully will deliver a lot of jobs for local people.
We've had a major change in the amount of high-tech, digital, media, creative industries moving into the borough over those 6 years. That hasn't just been about the games, of course, but the games have been an important element in that. And so I think that we're looking at a place in a very different mood and with a very different economic base from the one that I arrived at and looked at 6 years ago.
We're seen as a different kind of company with a different kind of image. I think this company just wouldn't fit if we had kind of West End offices. I think we're actually, weirdly enough, we are a kind of East End company.
It was about some of the social impacts that would take a while before you'd actually see how that would work. It was having jobs fairs about the games. It was dealing with some of the negativities around local people never getting work, around long-term unemployed people thinking they're not engaged. And I suppose the school children were the ones that turned it around, really.
Hackney knew that with low-cog schemes there wasn't much directed at young people. The low-cog scheme that was for young people was for a specific age range, which was 16 to 18. So the youth service decided to team up with the 2012 unit and create a programme called the Olympic Ambassadors.
So we've got 53 primary schools in Hackney. 51 of them came back with 2 children. So on the scheme we had 102 primary ambassadors. Over the year they got involved in lots of amazing stuff. Their job was to go back and obviously to talk to the children, delivering assemblies, blogging on their websites, writing articles in their newsletters.
I think the games has been reputationally changing for Hackney as a place.
And I mean, there was just some amazing feedback of people just saying thank you for showing that you can put on an event in this area.
I know some people are still talking about it don't mean nothing. They're absolutely mad. Look at, just look around you, look at what has happened and, you know, make it benefit you. Don't be in Hackney and just be like, head down, head up, look around and make it benefit you, because we've got a fantastic regenerated area.
Opinion Change was a 4-year project run out of Hackney Museum with a huge range of community partners, which was all about recording through the eyes and the art and the photography and the written contributions of local people.
You know, it's great for us because we lived in Dalston and we basically, you know, you rely on a bus service to take you to the nearest tube. And now we have an overland service which connects us to the centre of London, and it's great.
For all the planning that had gone in over those 7 years, thinking about how we connected in with all the different elements that need to make that happen, and feeling that we had played a small but vital part in making it come alive, making it, if you like, a people's games.
People are always important, volunteers are important, schools are important, youth are important. They should be part of the everyday work, and you shouldn't have to have the Olympics to come up with projects to make people do things.
Over the games, you know, the council was moved from just being a kind of street sweeping service into actually delivering tangible benefits for hundreds of thousands of people, from getting, you know, more than 10,000 people tickets to the games to 30,000 tickets to an incredible concert. You know, we're going to bring you a big screen in Haggerston Park, and actually a lot in the middle. You know, we've had volunteers, people helping out, you know, just day in, day out.
And it will inspire not only young, not only those who, you know, just want to do some kind of fitness, but also, you know, the older generation. It will inspire everybody.
One man in particular, I remember having to try and hurry along And he said, I'm really sorry, but I'm 76. And I was like, oh my God, you know, that's awful. But, you know, we had, you know, 76-year-olds coming out to give up their time and be part of these incredible events.
We're going to have to work hard to make sure that that continues, because the funding isn't going to be there now, and we don't want to lose the stimulation that was there in the, over this period.
It should be something that we learn from. It should be the beginning and not the end. I don't know why it has to end on the 9th of September when the Paralympics close.
It'll always be a point of reference to people, something that people will look back to, something that people will recognise was a moment of possibility.